This is Sad Boy Radio.
What up, what up, what up? Thank you guys for watching this Sad Boy Radio. Welcome back. Today I got a very special guest, somebody that is very influential in Chicago, and he goes by the name of Nico. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
My name is Nico Supremo. I make music out of the West Side, Pilsen to be exact. I've been doing it for 3 years now. And yeah, I know we connected through Rivers and shit. So I got the Slackers and shit. That's how I met him too. Yeah, I know that's my homie's cousin, so that's dope that we were able to connect off that.
Shit, all tatted up, yeah, bro.
So happy birthday to him too. Today's his birthday.
It's his birthday, right?
Yeah, today's his birthday.
Shit, happy birthday. I actually had hit Nico up earlier. I was trying to get a fucking shirt to rep on the fucking show. My ass, because obviously I rep merch every fucking weekend. This one's Unwell and Osuna, so shout out to them. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. And if you just want to give people a little background about you, you know, you come out the West Side, tell them how you got involved with Slackers and what made you start making music.
So I can start from the music. So I was going to college at Loyola. I went for 1 year after I left Jones College Prep downtown. And after that 1 year, I was just like, I don't know, I wasn't feeling school. I was like sitting in class, like designing merch, just like thinking about music, and just my mind wasn't there. And then I had like a moment where I be telling everybody the moment that really hit me was I used to work in an office, basically where you would get sent up, like if you got in trouble. I used to work like the front desk. And the lady one day was like during this like the summer going into my sophomore year, I was gonna move in, like I was committed. And then we were just watching the kids graduate, and she was like, "That's gonna be you in 3 years." And I was like, after she left the room, I was just sitting there, and I was like, all I was thinking was like anything else but that. So I was just like, I can't do this. So like, I ended up just leaving school. Like I have obviously a Latino mom that they're like, you know, they want school, they want like that like pathway. So when I came to my mom, like I just asked her like, give me a year, because going into it, I had no idea like how to get in the studio, how to do anything. I was just like off just like this gut feeling in my stomach of being like, let me just like do this, because a big thing too for me was like I didn't want to regret. Like I feel like a lot of people, they kind of settle for stuff sometimes, and then you wake up like 30-some years old with a kid, and you're unable to like chase after goals, obviously because responsibilities happen. But it was like, for me, it was like I'd rather chase that goal, be able to tell like my kids, my grandkids, like I at least tried, than be like, you know, that old person that's just like, I could have done this, I could have done that. So yeah, I left Loyola. Honestly, the first thing I did was I went to the music garage. Not the music garage, the Guitar Center. I went there, I just ended up buying some equipment. The guy that was at when I was going to pay, he told me he had a studio somewhere like up north of like the Blue Line. And I was going there like to start off for a little bit. And then one day he got shut down because ComEd came for like the old business that used to be there. But then I guess when they got there, they were like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And when they got there, they were like half recording, half like building the rest of the studio. So they literally were like y'all can't do both. Like, y'all gotta shut down. And so they shut them down. So at that moment, I was just like, I just got started. I just started figuring out music. So I'm like, fuck, where do I go from here? And kind of what I flipped was, I'm a big fan. I don't know if you know who Smino is. He's he's an artist from around here. So
Definitely heard of him, yeah.
So a friend of mine in college had introduced me to his music. And his manager runs this studio called Classics. They're on the West Side too. So I just like being a fan of his music, finding out about that. I went on their website and just booked a session through there. And then the same dude that I ended up working with, his name's Cole Krugel. I've been working with him basically this whole time. So that's really like the origin of how I got into it. The Slackers thing happened like maybe like a year and a half into it, where me and my manager Marquise, we were just like two kids kind of figuring it out, just kind of trying stuff out, doing different stuff, like figuring out how to make music, put it out, shoot videos. And it wasn't until I ended up finding out about this recently that I had an interview at UIC, and a homie of mine, his name's Cease, he's a DJ. C-Stays, yeah. So he found me. I had a separate interview at UIC. He was at that time DJing at UIC. He put me on a lineup at I don't know where Simone's is. I've never been around Pilsen. There's this bar called Simone. So they used to have like open mic nights, And he had me one day on there, and then David told me that he was just going through like the lineup, just listening to everybody's music, and I was like one of like the last few people. And he told me the first song he heard he didn't like, so that's what he was. But I have this song called Bando Bash, which is one of my early songs that like got me a lot of like traction throughout the city, and that one he really fucked with me. And at that time I was getting ready to drop another project, and I had a song called Hoodie on there. And just me and him, he literally had hoodies coming out, and we kind of just like came together on like a little like promo video of his. And then from there, it's just like he's been a really good tool of like somebody. He's been doing clothes for like 10 plus years. And
Dave, right?
Yeah, Dave. So Dave the Slacker, he's been doing clothes for a long time. So having somebody that has like a background and just like being like independent, like doing stuff on your own, like learning, like, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between like you do podcasts, you do clothes, music, a lot of stuff has a lot of like similarities in how you do stuff. So like just being able to like have somebody that I can kind of bounce ideas off of, like get some feedback from, has been like super useful. Plus I got introduced to like the east side of Chicago that I had like I like driven through as like a kid, but I never had like no connection to, where like my videographer who shot a lot of my videos, he's from there. A lot of my homies that do clothes, they're from over there. Like I met Rivers just from being over there. So I've been able to make like a ton of connections that I probably wouldn't have been able to. So that's like the long version of that. But yeah.
Hey, there you go. I mean, it's always helpful to know people, and Chicago's such like a small place, bro. It's so fucking crazy, because you mentioning Cease Days, like I've met him. Like we don't really know each other like that, but I met him, and I know like one of my really close friends is like a fraternity brother of his. So like it's just crazy how everybody knows everybody, because then he knows Cooley.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the homie too. Yeah, we know him too. So a lot of those, their whole little group. Yeah, I've been able to like the last like this summer, I've really like gotten to know a lot of those guys, and just like you know I've noticed with them like they be a lot of like the same, like, you know, they DJ a lot of the same places, and then they know a lot of different DJs. So a big thing for me this summer has been like trying to get to know a lot of DJs, and hopefully just have them, because I feel like DJs are a lot of like the lifeblood of what gets like songs going, and like, you know, you can kind of share music without even like being there when DJs are playing it. So I've been really like trying to get to know them, get cool with them, grow that relationship, and then, you know, hopefully that grows and they're able to like play me at all these different events. A lot of them like they're a part of different events like Michelada Fest. The homie M-Doc, he's a part of running that. Like a lot of them, they run a lot of those events and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, he was performing at that one. So I know he got that one through knowing M-Doc. So just literally, like you said, like we've learned that it's just like who you know really like, it helps you out a lot, and it makes like a huge difference to like what you're able to, you know, reach and meet new people. And you never know who you might meet that connects you to this other person that takes you to this whole other place and shit.
Facts. Yeah, bro. I mean, that's really like the lesson of 2021, I guess. I've met a lot of people. I've had a lot of people come through onto the show, which I really appreciate you coming on. I've had a lot of people come through that it's like, I never thought I would meet these people, like, ever. Like, did I ever think I'd run into a reggaeton artist from Chicago and, you know, be able to interview him? No. Yeah. Did I think I'd interview a V5 DJ? No. Like, all
Who's
this
the
shit.
V5 DJ?
Mayhem.
Oh, okay. I know doing his name's like Narc or something like that. He has a name like that. I met him a couple times though.
I think I've heard of
but
him.
I know he be doing V5 stuff too. And then our homie, I think his cousin does some of the stuff over there too. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Everybody, bro.
There's a lot of people that just do the same things. Yeah.
The city's just connected in such a different way. It's really fucking crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like as much as Chicago does that, I think that like we have that issue of like a lot of us are connected, but we don't always like reach out to each other, and like that's the biggest thing. Like for me, like I really try to like, I don't know, just like if I can go and support somebody else, like I've been trying to really go out to a lot of like people's DJ sets, just to like, regardless if I want them to play my music, just to like show support to them, because I feel like if I'm asking somebody to play my music or to, you know, check it out, and I'm not supporting you and what you're doing, like that doesn't make any sense to me. Or like I have people that like they want me to share their stuff, but you don't share mine. It's just kind of like a weird thing where it's like people want to show love to get it back, not to just like because I enjoy what you do. And I feel like the more that we do that in Chicago, and the more we, you know, uplift each other and push each other forward, like that's just gonna like elevate all of us, and it's gonna make like a whole community that pushes us all forward and stuff. But that's something that I feel like we're like kind of lacking. But I see it kind of more and more people are starting to like change their minds about that and trying to like put more effort into that.
Yeah, bro. It's just about people genuinely caring, honestly. Yeah. Like, and that's what I love about doing this. You know, there's, like I said, there's so many people that I don't know. I know them through somebody else, and you know, they're still willing to hop on. You know, even if you gotta reschedule, you know, I still appreciate the time that you took out of the day to fucking come out here. You know, because at the end of the day, you don't have to. You know, anybody could be like, I don't fucking know you. I don't give a fuck. Like, so, I mean, that's why I just love this, bro, because I love music. I just love being able to hop on here and talk about music, and sometimes it's draining when your passion becomes a job. It becomes draining. But then, you know, there's just one of those moments, one of those days where you're down and you're like, damn, I remember why I fucking love this, because it just uplifts you.
You know, I feel that way with music because sometimes, like, focusing on, like, the business part and, like, sometimes it can make the music, like it just makes it makes it feel like work. But, like, for me, like, shows, actually being in the studio and, like, putting together a song is, like, the stuff that I'm, like, that's what, like, lets me know, like, all right, like, I'm supposed to do this. Like, I genuinely, like, those are the moments I enjoy, like, being in front of it. Like, for a while, like, when I was a kid, I used to have, like, terrible stage fright. But, like, now, like, now where I'm at, like, doing this music now, like, I've started to just, like, be comfortable. And for me, like, recently, like, with shows and stuff, I've noticed that, like, as an artist, if you don't bring the energy, like, the room isn't gonna, like, you gotta, like, be so enthusiastic or just, like, bring the energy to the room where everybody feels comfortable. Because I get it. I mean, people come out, you know, everybody, like, is there. Somebody, like, alcohol definitely helps. But, like, I feel like as an artist, it's also your job to, like, when you bring that energy, when you like, when you're comfortable up there, the crowd, like, feels that. And then when you're not, or if you're up there, like, you know, fumbling, messing up, like, the crowd feels that too. It's like the crowd really feeds off of, like, your energy. And if you're not bringing that, like, the crowd's not gonna be able to, like, feel that. So I've learned that a lot, like, recently too.
Facts. You and your Pikachu, bro. I peeped.
Yeah, I didn't bring him today because I was trying to carry him. But yeah, that was something recently that off the EP I had a song called Pikachu, and then I've been a Pokemon fan since I was a kid. So that was something recently, like, with the project that even we were at what was it, Joy, and they let me in with them, and it was just something that, like, I even honestly, like, now recently it kind of is like a conversation starter, and it's kind of something that, like, people just come up to you. Like, I had a bunch of people that just followed me just because they were like, and I had them take videos. I'm like, go ahead. It's just something to, like, start conversations with, and just, like, something to go with it. And, like, it was something that just popped in my head recently that I was like, I ended up walking to GameStop to buy his ass because I got him on Amazon, but they were on some bullshit telling me, like, I did, like, the 2-day shipping, and then they were talking about, like, it was gonna either be the 2 days or, like, a month. And I was like, I don't know how, like, those correlate, but I ended up canceling that. I went to go grab them, but yeah.
Bro, I don't even know how you got into Joy with that, but, you know.
No, look, so I pull up in the Uber. I look at the security dude. We both look at each other, and we had a moment where I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, bro, like, you gonna let me in here with him?" And he literally was cool as hell. He was like, there's people that walk in with, like, crazy outfits and suits. He's like, "Fuck, I care about, like, a Pikachu," and I was like, "Fuck it." I was like, I'm about to bring him everywhere. They didn't give a fuck. I was like, all right, bet. It ended up being, yeah, trust me, I was pulling up like, this dude's gonna give me a hard time. It was like some tall ass white dude. He's gonna give me a hard time, but he was cool. I was like, shout out to the front dude at Joy. Dude was cool. He let me in with that.
Them dudes down at River North, they be strict as fuck, bro.
Yeah,
bro,
that's why I didn't think he was gonna let me do it. But.
We went to Electric Hotel the other day. I don't even want to get into it. All right, bro. But yeah, moving on from all the club shit. Today I wanted to talk about struggle. The first question I got for you, what does that mean to you, you know, to struggle?
I say to struggle, I think a lot of times it's just like working at something. Like, even when it's like not fun. I'm not where I want to be in music, but I think like now I try to like appreciate like the little stuff, like having shows, like having different events, having merch, like that stuff I didn't used to have. So like I think the struggle is like when you start off doing something and like there's nobody paying attention, like it's harder, like you got to figure out everything, like that's those. But I feel like the struggle is what makes you as like whatever you want to do. Like that's like you need that. Like I feel like motherfuckers that just go through life and get handed stuff, they don't like know how to deal with adversity. They don't know how to when something comes up, they fumble and they don't know how to deal with that. Like I feel like as much as the struggle sucks, like it's like a necessary thing. I feel like for people to like when you deal with stuff and struggle in a lot of ways, like it if you embrace it, I feel like it can make you better. It's when I feel like people try to like fight it a little too much, or like they think that like it's just you going through it. Or I feel like for me, like what's helped me with struggling is just understanding like I'm not the only person that's going through something right now. Like there's people that probably got it, or there's people that do have it way worse than I do. So like, kind of like that's why I have the yin yang on my hand. Like having balance between like what's good and what's bad, like in life, and what's going well, what's not, and just knowing like as much as there's probably stuff that we could all focus on that's just bad going on in your life, there's probably, you know, just as much or more like good things going on. So it's just kind of like where your headspace is at and how you kind of deal with that.
For sure, man. I think about that a lot, honestly. Like you said, there's always somebody going through something much worse than you, and
Especially nowadays, how the news is. There's so much stuff going on.
bro, yeah, everybody's struggling, and it's like, man, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, man. I work in customer service, so you know when people come in and they're having a hard time, you know, sometimes I'll be like, man, I can't really help you out. But then sometimes, like, you know what? Someone's probably having a much worse day than me.
Let me be nice to this person.
Yeah,
for a
I try to
little
help
bit.
them out, but you know, it's just sometimes it's like, leave me the fuck alone, bro. To me, I don't know. Struggle is like mentally, right? I have it written down here. You know, mental health and the state of mind you're in. It's like super important because when you have a good state of mind, that's when you feel the most healthy. At least to me, you know, when I was probably in the best shape of my life like last summer, right? And at that time, like everything just seemed much more clear. Everything seemed more positive, and that really helped me, right? Because nobody really fucking teaches you how to fucking deal with so many different negative things in your life, right? Something that we talked about that you mentioned to me was anxiety, right? I've talked about it like early on in the show because that's when like my anxiety was like really bad, and I've just kind of learned like the triggers to avoid, like I was saying, caffeine, bro. Caffeine fucks me up. Like I'll be bouncing off the walls, fucking like going through it the rest of the day, bro. It was like a week ago, I had like a cold brew from fucking Starbucks. I did not want to, bro. I laid down on the floor for an hour and a half, not wanting to do shit because that shit just had me crash. I'm like, oh my fucking gosh. But
Yeah, I've never been a coffee guy. Luckily, I'll sleep through shit before I do some coffee. I'll be like, fuck it, I'll take that.
No, but yeah, and it reminds me of the song "Deep Reverence" by Big Sean. You know when Big Sean says in high
I've
school.
heard it before, but
Oh
I
yeah,
never
for
saw
sure.
it.
No, you've definitely heard it with Nipsey Hussle, bro.
Oh,
He-
okay.
he says in high school I learned chemistry, biology, but not how to cope with anxiety, or how I could feel like I'm by myself on an island with depression on all sides of me. When you break it down, bro, it's really that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody's teaching you how to cope with anxiety. Nobody's teaching you how to just go about life with feeling this mental struggle, right?
I think in like the black and brown community, I feel like that's something that like parents, uncles, a lot of the people older than us, like I feel like a lot of their issues were like not being open like to talk. Or we come from like, at least with like Latinos, I know we come from like machismo, and that's something that like I feel like really hampers us because motherfuckers don't feel like they can like talk about how they're feeling, like what's going on with them because of, you know, fear motherfuckers be thinking they solved or some shit. But I feel like that's like that hampered. I feel like I look at it like I got family that like I can see that in them, that like that need to have machismo, that thing just like that eats in motherfuckers because they just don't know how to like share, how to talk about what's going on with themselves, and just like I feel like just getting it out. Like I feel like sometimes half the thing with like anxiety is just like getting it out, or just finding something, like you said, like working out. Like for me it really helps too, like whether it's talking about it, getting it out. Music's been really good for me too, like just to get stuff out, but just finding different ways to just like deal with the anxiety, or just finding what stuff that works for you, like you said, like stuff that just helps you like center yourself and like come back to like the middle when, you know, you be all over the place sometimes, because I know I be having that sometimes too.
No, definitely meditation's one good thing. The other day I did go for a run. Like my ass was just sitting in my room fucking anxious as fuck, and it was like 12:30, bro. I'm like, all right, I can either go to sleep or I can go for a run. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go for a run. But that's definitely a thing, you know, the machismo, because my cousin, when I started this podcast, you know, I told him it was gonna be Sad Boy Radio. He's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, why? He's like, that's a good idea. I don't like the name though. How you feel about the name? I'm like, honestly, bro, like that really, I guess that just captures what the culture is now, right? Because people always fucking say that, damn, sad boys, sad boy hours, like that's what it is, bro. And everybody would always tell me, they're like, why you always so sad? Why you a sad boy? I'm not even a fucking sad boy, bro. I just be chilling. I be on my own shit, like off to the side because you don't want everybody knowing your business. What the fuck is that shit?
I know I'm the same way. I feel like I be open with the people I fuck with, but it's like, you know, there's people that just will share with everybody, and just not everybody's like that. But like you said, some people just don't think that way, or they just look at shit differently. But that's for each person of their own.
Hey, that anxiety be giving me trust issues, bro. No, but
For real though.
But
For
that's
real though.
why, that's why I think that bar with fucking Big Sean resonated with me so much because, like he said, how could I feel like I'm by myself on an island with depression on all sides of me, right? Because at times there's people where you're in a room with them and it's like, damn, I'm still alone. Like, how many of these people really got my back? How many of these people, at the end of the day, if I didn't pop out or if I wasn't about that life, like, who's gonna fucking check on me? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that goes through, like, I mean, anybody's head. I feel like that goes through them. But that's one of those things. I don't know. I feel like that is my, like, I feel like that's kind of something healthy to have, like, to be kind of like self-aware of your surroundings. 'Cause I feel like I know people that just like don't give a fuck and will hang out with whoever and do whatever, and like I hate people like that. Like that's just like they have no like self-awareness to who's around them. They don't really care. It's like you be hanging around with motherfuckers that you know that will do some shiesty ass shit to you, and it's just like I can never do that. But it's like, to each person their own. Everybody gonna move how they gonna move. But I feel like I appreciate people when they do that, because now I know, all right, bet I'm not gonna fuck with you. Like I know how motherfuckers are. You can kind of see how people are and how they move and shit.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if you're fucking with somebody that's fucking with everybody,
yeah, be careful in that motherfucker. Watch that motherfucker.
reevaluate who you're around.
For real.
So another question I had for you, bro, it was, how do you feel that's like any struggle with a mental health issue or your struggle with anxiety, how do you feel like that has helped you grow?
I think it's helped me grow because I've had to like look inward a lot, like just like ask myself questions. Like music has really helped me with that too. Like I have songs that like I've written and like I feel like I've gotten like a weight lifted off my shoulders, or I get some like shit off my chest, and I feel like. Well, ask me a question again.
So the question was, how do you feel your struggle with anxiety or any type of mental health condition? So whether it be like, I don't know, if you had ADHD, OCD, anything like that, how do you feel like it's helped you grow?
Well, I don't know if this counts, but I'm dyslexic. So when I got diagnosed in kindergarten. So basically all through school, I had that. So that for me really helped me, just because like I've talked to my OG about this. Like it made me like have a work ethic from literally like a little kid. Like where like just to kind of like keep up with like my peers, I had to like go to tutoring after school. Like I had to do that extra mile. But like I think when I was a kid, I felt like why? Like it felt like a struggle because, like you spend 8 hours in school and I got to spend another 1.5, just catching up on what I didn't get at school. But it's like now being like 23 years old, like I appreciate that way more, like that struggle, just because it made me like it made hard work to most people seem like normal to me, and it just made something that like I guess something that probably could have like or should have hampered me, made me kind of like appreciate it more and feel like that's what made me like have more of a work ethic and just work harder at something. And then like I feel like everybody's like, we've all gone through like depression and phases of that, and I feel like that's like, again, I feel like that's something that just like it makes you like look inward and kind of like question stuff about yourself and look into your past. And not, I feel like you never want to get stuck in the past, never get stuck in the future, but it's always good to like, look at those things. I feel like a lot of times people just like move on from stuff that happens to them or stuff in their life and don't address it, and it can come back to you at any time. And I feel like it's just, I've learned to like I'd rather deal with some head on than try to like move around it. And I feel like that's just something that like that's like either any of the struggles that I've had, just like going at it head on has like been a way better solution than just dancing around it.
No, I feel you, bro. And I feel like, you hit it on the head perfectly, but at the same time, like, it's complicated, right?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you want to address issues that have happened, but then you also have to learn how to kind of forgive yourself, right?
Let go.
Yeah, you gotta let go and forgive yourself. An artist I think about that really related to that was like Justin Bieber. You know, if you know the story, basically, you know, he did struggle with addiction. He had all this stuff going on. You know, he grew up in the spotlight.
Being that young with all that money is that's a hell of a thing right there.
But in the song Monster, you know, he says, I had a chip on my shoulder, had to let it go because unforgiveness keeps them in control. And, you know, when you think about it, when you don't forgive yourself, you're holding on to the idea of you'll get closure somewhere else, or the idea you will get the forgiveness from somebody that, you know, maybe won't offer it. And you got to learn to be okay with that. You got to learn to be okay with basically loving yourself before you can move on, move past it, because that to me is a struggle, right? Because if you did hurt somebody, that I think that part of my anxiety comes from that, right? Thinking about the people that maybe I don't have the best relationship with, or having to deal with that shit, right? Because even though I prefer to handle issues straight up, like once something happens, like I'm either gonna deal with it and be like, all right, cool, or I'm not gonna deal with it, because I'm not gonna deal with somebody who doesn't want to fix an issue, right? Why the fuck am I gonna go back and try to, like, it's kind of like you're begging, but why the fuck would I beg somebody to forgive me when I tried fixing an issue in the first place, right?
That's where you gotta put yourself first and just be like, I did it. You put it out there, and then, you know, they can either go with it or you move on. I feel you 100%.
You gotta let it go, bro. I think that's been a common theme for a lot of these podcasts, low key, where it's like, you know, you hop on, you talk about your fucking feelings, and then you let it go. Like, it really be like that.
No, that's how, like I said, like I have songs where, like, either I've written it out, or going to the studio and, like, listening to it. Like I said, it feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders, where I get something out, where, like, I leave the studio and I'm like, you know, you feel better about it, where, like, you're just able to get it out. And now, like, for me, it's like it's in song form, where I can, like, kind of, like, and then sometimes I've been listening to the song and it kind of have certain songs that, like, take me back to stuff in my life that, like not that I know we're probably getting deep, but so my dad, he was an alcoholic for, like, some of my, like, during, like, my high school years, and I have a song that I wrote about. I used to take the 47th Street bus from Hyde Park all the way to 47th California, and so basically he used to drive home drunk and, like, on some wild shit, and I wrote a song basically, like, about, like, the anxiety I used to get taking the bus, knowing that, like, I'm basically headed over there to just take some wild ass ride to go home. But, like, that's something that, like, I'd had since I was a kid, and I, like, remember, like, when I put that song out, like, it felt like so much better to just, like, get it out. And it was just something that, like, having, like, experience, just putting it out there in, like, a song, and just, like, and listening to it, and it kind of take, like, every time I listen to it, it takes me to that place of, like, being a little kid, like, I was, like, in 8th grade and, like, taking the bus and just, like, knowing that feeling, and just, like, that. I feel like just that's something that, like, as much as it hurts sometimes to do, I feel like that's something that's, like, that's beautiful.
For sure, bro. And putting that into art form, you know, that's what makes it better. I know exactly what you're talking about in terms of, you know, you made a song and you can literally remember the night you made that shit and the feeling that came from that, you know. I don't even got that many songs. I got, like, 3 with, like, 1 verse on it. But each of those songs, I remember, you know, what was going on in my life at that time, the moment that, you know, we put it down, and I'll go back and listen, and I'm like, damn, I was going through it, or like, damn, you know, it's so cool to be able to, like, hear it, you know, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and, you know, for you to be able to express that, I've talked about it before, you know, you can be so vulnerable in your art, and a lot of people will not hear what you're saying. They'll just kind of listen to it and be like, damn, that's dope.
Yeah, no, yeah, there's a lot of that too. But even, like you said, like, I have music since, like, 2018 that, like, sometimes I go back and, like, it's crazy to see, like, you know, like you said, you go back to those moments in time where, like, you know, that music is, and it's just kind of crazy to, like, to look at, like, even, like, for me, it's been kind of growth. Like, I look at a lot of ways of just, like, how I've been able to, like, you know, grow, not just, like, music-wise, but just as, like, a person. From, like, a lot of that's what's dope with, like, because I have, like, a lot of different projects. Like, I can go to, like, certain projects and think about, okay, I was doing this during this time, like, this was going on in my life, and it's just kind of cool to, like, have stuff like that you can look back on, and, like you said, just go into that, like, moment in time and, like, remind yourself, like, okay, this is going on, and kind of puts you in that place again.
You know, I just watched the documentary of Romeo Santos, right? And
I heard about that,
yeah, the one on HBO Max. So in the fucking movie, he talks about how each song he makes, he wants to feel that feeling of when he made Obsession, right? It's not because people, because here's the thing, you know, he said, I want to make music like that, not music that is similar to it, because obviously as an artist you grow, but I want to have the same feeling I had with that song as every single song I make, because you know that's his first hit. And if you know, like, that song wasn't even supposed to, it leaked early. So they had, from what he explains on the movie, I already knew this, but they made a 4-track EP or something, and they just gave it to their close friends, right? You know, they didn't have an intention of putting it out at that moment. And I guess the song leaked, and that's their fucking biggest song ever, or, you know, the song that everybody knows, you know, son las 5 de la mañana. Like, what the fuck?
Even like you said, though, it's like kind of what you said, it's like, I know for like artists, I feel like that's like an addicting thing, where like when you make a song you really like, and you know that it's like it's like it becomes one of those things where you just like, you want to get that feeling again. Like when you make a song that you're like, man, this is it right here. Like, it's just like that feeling where like, it's damn near like drugs, where you're just like, you want to keep on chasing that. And that's what I kind of like about music too, that it's just like, there's always room to get better. As much as you think you might have like reached the ceiling or whatever, like there's always room to just like grow a little bit more, try something different, like do different stuff. And it's just like that feeling of just like, what else can I do? What else can I try? And I feel like that's something like, that's beautiful with music, that you can always just find a new lane, find something different to do.
It's just about working hard, bro.
Yeah, that too.
And that's that struggle, you know, when you come from a struggle, and any type of struggle, you know, financial struggle, mental struggle, or just physically, right? You don't take those things for granted, just like you were saying. You know, a lot of people are handed things, and when you aren't handed it, you have to work 10 times harder. You're going to work a lot harder to figure out what's going on, what's your next step. And that's another thing he talks about in the movie, where, you know, before they were playing these little ass shows in the DR, right? And eventually, you know, he blew up, but he still goes back to play at those little cities in the country, because it's like, all right, you know, I made it this far, but I can't forget where I came from. Yeah,
your roots. Honestly, I have my homie Dave, once I was at a show, it was like maybe like a year or two ago, and it was maybe like, I ended up, like, the show ended up kind of falling apart. It was like 5 to 10 people. And just being where I was at, I was like, I'm going to go home, whatever. He called me, and he was like, because he's cool with Rocky Fresh, and he told me that Rocky Fresh told him that no matter, you got to perform, like, whether it's 5 people or 5,000, like, it's the exact same show. Like, people should be able to, like, get the same experience no matter what. So kind of similar to what you said, I feel like if you're like I feel like a true artist is just like, no matter how many, like, it shouldn't matter like how many people are there. No matter how many people are, like, you just gotta be there and put on like the best show possible, because you never, like I've said before, like, you never know who's gonna be in the crowd. It might be 5 people, but one of those 5 people might be somebody that gets you to a whole other spot. So I feel like it's just like you said, or just even with me recently, like, I feel like I've tried to grow to like appreciate, you know, like I try to go to open mics in my neighborhood and just like get used to being in those spaces that like nobody knows who I am, and I'm just there to just, you know, I'm just another artist, you know, trying to get better at what I'm doing. I feel like just appreciating those moments and just like doing it for the love of the art, just being there to just like take in other people's art, just being there for like the love of that. And I feel like that's just something that like I don't ever want to lose. And I feel like you said, kind of similar to them, like them going back to their roots is something that kind of keeps you like grounded in like how you started and where you came from.
Yeah, and just like you mentioned, you know, whether it's 5 or 5,000 people, right? I think about that Travis Scott video, you know, where he's performing Rodeo, and
that's
then
some crazy ass shit.
And then people kick it to his Astro World tour, right? And yeah, everyone starts somewhere.
Swear to God, I was just gonna say that. That's what I've learned as an artist is like Kendrick's a great example. Like I've kind of like looked into his past and stuff. Like everybody starts at these little shows. Like if you think that just like because this person's one of the biggest artists in the world doesn't mean like they didn't start. So like if you think that you're just gonna like somehow shoot up out of nowhere and not have to do any of these little shows, like most people don't. Some people get lucky. They blow up off the internet and their first show is like sold out or something. But most of us, or just most people in general, you gotta go through like the struggles of doing these local shows, trying out. Plus I feel like for me, it's allowed me to like get better at actually performing. Like I would, like I even like we were talking about Justin Bieber. Like if I think about it, like if I got famous when I started doing music like 17, 18, I would not have been ready at all for any of that, and like to perform and stuff like that. Like I'm glad like now where I'm at now, like I feel, even I'm still not where I want to be, but like I feel way more prepared to deal with something popping off than if I was 17, 18 and the whole world's coming at you. It's like I could understand you just losing it to all that stuff going on.
The whole world's watching you.
Yeah, and then that's why a lot of dudes they crumble under that. But like, I mean, everybody's looking at you, the next drop. That's why I feel like a lot of guys too, like they blow up, and then that next project, if it doesn't reach that, like usually like people like that sophomore project doesn't hit.
Slump.
Yeah, sophomore slump. Like a lot of people don't hit that, but that's like something that just like gets ingrained in people. And I feel like you look at a lot of artists that do it for years, like I feel like they're more prepared for that than somebody that just happened to blow up. And then a lot of times they're just like happy to be there when like you said, people that have been doing it for years, like they've kind of like you've been preparing for this moment so that you're already ready to go.
I feel like the perfect artist, or at least the artist that had the perfect come up, was like Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah. I got into him late, but yeah.
Okay, so, like 2017, 2018, Bad Bunny starts getting his recognition. 2019, is that when he released that album? So 2019, he did Soltera. Yeah. So he also had I Like It. So all of these little features, leading up. And then he finally released that big ass project, and the whole world's fucking watching him. Yeah. So, and I guess he kind of had a benefit, right? Because he had the biggest project, got nominated for a Grammy. I think he won a Grammy for that too. But he didn't have to deal with all the publicity because the world fucking shut down.
Damn, yeah, you don't think about it. That was a low key blessing in disguise for him.
And that dude still sold out his fucking tour in like a couple hours. It didn't even take a day, bro.
Yeah, but that's where you got. I feel like he's one of those, like, when you got the sauce, like you got it in that moment. Like he's one of those dudes that like he just has it right now. And when you got it, you just gotta go at it. And I feel like that's what he's done a lot too. But for me, like I was like in the reggaeton like when I was a kid during like Daddy Yankee. Like, I'm just kind of coming back to it, like diving in everything. And what I appreciate about Bad Bunny is he's very experimental to me for a lot of like reggaeton, and I like appreciate like the different lanes he tries to go into. So I got a lot of respect for like the different stuff he tries to do.
There's a lot of dope reggaeton coming out.
Yeah, I've been trying to like jump into that a little bit more and try to get a better understanding of that.
I definitely love it. I love the sounds. I don't really understand.
I like
Spanish
the girls that
like
dance
that.
to it.
There you go, bro. Hey, all the Latin shorties.
For real, that's why I started learning Bad Bunny.
All right, bro. So one last question I have for you. It was something that you mentioned me. How do you heal from those struggles?
I think time. You got to give it, because I feel like a lot of times people feel like they want stuff to happen in the moment. I've learned that with music. I've learned that just with life. And I feel like I think there's like a saying like time heals all. Like I feel like you just have to like
throwback to episode 5, I think. I don't remember. Time heals all wounds, ? No, but yeah, that's true, bro. Time heals all wounds, Drake said it in his song, Time Heals All. Bryson Tiller, another.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like that's just like a theme that like, if you think that like stuff's gonna just happen, or like I feel like it's like, you gotta just like give it days. And like, I feel like what I've learned like with music or just stuff in general is like, you gotta just work at it. Like it's not gonna happen and just like, there's not gonna be this magical moment that just all of a sudden stuff happens. Like I feel like a lot of stuff with life is just something you gotta just chip away at and just like work at, and like also be okay with like going backwards. Like I feel like some people, they think that you're just gonna go and it's gonna be cool. Like you're gonna have setbacks. Like there's gonna have stuff that comes in, because it's life. Like life happens. There's stuff that happens that just outside of our control. But I feel like the more you just focus on what you can control, focus on just like getting a little bit better like that day. Like, well, we me and my manager used to run track in high school, and it's something that our coach used to tell us is like just like getting better every day. 'Cause that's running really. Like running is just like you gotta grow your endurance, and endurance happens just chipping away at it. So I feel like that's just something for like life to heal is just giving yourself that time to do that.
You gotta be 1% better every day. I don't know, man. I think how do you heal from wounds? Yeah, definitely, like you said, time.
That's really all. Because I feel like it's also like that's like a individually, like everybody has their different stuff. Like we said, kind of like some people like to work out, some people like to draw, some people write, some people, I don't know, go on a drive. Like everybody has their like different things that help them. But I feel like everything kind of surrounds itself around like just time, like giving yourself that time to just do that, or just like stepping away and being alone with yourself. I feel like, yeah, just time is just something that I feel like is something that like we talk about it like something that like people, I feel like people don't value it enough. Like your time, like your space, just giving yourself like that time and then using your time valuably in like what you want to do, not just what somebody else wants to, or a relationship or a job. Like really looking at yourself and being like, how am I using my time, and am I using it for something that makes me happy, that like lets me wake up and want to do what I want to do.
Especially as an artist, I think that's one of the things that I try to focus most on, when I do reach out to somebody, I try to value their time and not waste it.
No, I've dealt with a lot of that. There's a lot of people that do that, but like you said, a lot of people don't think about that. Like they're just so focused on trying to do their thing. But I feel like that's a really like good trait, like just for people in general to have, is like to have somebody else's time or feelings in mind. Just because you never know. I feel like also like we were talking about earlier, like when you work in like a a retail job where you're doing something, you don't know what's going on in somebody's life. You don't know what's going on in their head. To just like, I feel like it's easy to be kind of nice to somebody. Like as much, like, there's people that deserve being an asshole too. But like I feel like it's way easier to just be nice to everybody and just go about life, in a calm, cool way, rather than just, trying to get into it motherfuckers all the damn time.
Yeah, it definitely is easier to be nice to people. It's like they say, I had a manager one time where she had told me, she's like, it's harder to be mad at somebody, to stay mad at somebody, than just to, forgive them. And that really, like, stuck with me, because it's like, why the fuck am I going to try to be mad at somebody? I might have told her that. I don't fucking remember. But
plus, I feel like if the person don't give a fuck, it's like you just being mad about some shit that nobody else cares about you. And it's like you just going up against it for no reason. It's like you said, it's just like it's easier to just let it go.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know. That's like what I was telling you, right? If I get mad at somebody, I'll be mad at them for like 2 minutes. And then I'll be like, all right, cool. What?
I've been told recently I have anger issues. But my shit comes and goes. But I ain't that bad. But you really gotta piss me off. I'm a Scorpio too, so yeah. So if I get into it, we gonna get into it.
He said he's toxic. But yeah, man, time heals all wounds. I think, I guess that's a key to life, right? Remember that one. Remember this interview.
Bro, that's the key right there. That's the key in the interview. Time heals all.
All right, bro. So moving forward, to close out the show, we're gonna go ahead and have you present your object.
So my dad passed away in 2 years ago now. But something that we both kind of shared was love for soccer. So he owned an auto repair shop on 47th in California. And I don't know if you know anything about soccer, but he was a big there's a team in Mexico called America, and he used to hang this flag in his auto repair shop. So this is something that, like, I've been a fan of this team. My little brother is literally named after the goalie for them. Memo Ochoa, his name is literally that because of him. So, like, this is like a family thing for me. Like, we bleed this shit. So this is a flag that I hold very close to my heart that I got from my dad. So, yeah, this is the item, though.
Where's the jersey, bro?
Shit, it's at the crib. I'm also Guactemo Blanco. That's my boy. We in this. That's one of my favorite players of all time. But, yeah, that's something that I hold very dear to my heart. And just, like, sports in general, especially, like, soccer in Mexico. That's something that I hold very close to me. But, yeah, especially that item, yeah.
Nah, man, that's what's up. And you know what? I really appreciate you bringing that out.
Thank you, bro.
Definitely, I'm sure it keeps you going. So, but thank you guys for watching. That's going to be it for Sad Boy Radio. Make sure you go stream his new project, Superstar, Nico Supremo. And that'll be all. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.